Hello YouTube, my name is Lily, if you didn't already know me. So today I wanted to make sort of like an introductory video, but I didn't want to do a type of video where I'm trying to explain to you what kind of videos I'm going to be putting up, because to be fairly honest, I don't really know exactly. I like a lot of different things, and so it will probably be a mesh of a lot of different types of videos. But one thing I can for sure tell you that I'll be talking about is music. Obviously, I'm into music a lot. You can look forward to maybe some covers or maybe even some original music in the future, which could be quite exciting. So really today, instead of like a normal introductory video, I wanted to share my journey with music and songwriting and leading worship. So to start off about my story, I grew up with a family that really appreciated music, and we were constantly had music on. You know, I had the parents that, you know, put me to bed with classical music and all that kinds of stuff. So I just grew up around a world of music. Everyone in my family, even my extended family, is pretty musical. So that's kind of a plus. As a kid, I loved to just make up songs and dances, and I was like the entertainer. I was not afraid to go, you know, do a skit or whatever in front of people. I loved being the center of attention, which is funny because I wouldn't necessarily say that about myself now. As a kid, my mom really wanted me to learn guitar or at least take piano lessons or something. She wanted me to learn an instrument, and I wasn't really feeling guitar at all. For some reason, as a little girl, I thought guitar was a boy's instrument. I don't really know why you think those kinds of things as a kid, but I did, and I did not want to play guitar, and my mom really wanted me to. And I tried piano lessons. I took piano lessons from my mom like a few times, and I just didn't like it very much, at least at the time. I kind of like piano now, and I'm starting to kind of teach myself a little bit. Anyway, so fast forward a few years, when I was in 6th grade, my music teacher had all of these like 3/4 size guitars, not this small, but you know, and we all got the chance to learn to play like easy versions of chords on the guitar, and I loved it, absolutely loved it. And so after that, I knew I wanted to play guitar, and so I picked up one of my uncle's old guitars and taught myself how to play guitar. And around the same time that I was teaching myself to play guitar, I also started to sort of teach myself how to harmonize just by ear and not having to read music, because I could do it that way. I could read music pretty well. I grew up playing violin in an orchestra and, you know, taking vocal and things like that. But I listened to a lot of Christian radio, and honestly that's how I learned, is I listened to a lot of like, you know, kind of cheesy songs and tried to harmonize with them. And now I don't know how it works, but now I can just harmonize easy. So the next step after learning to harmonize was I began to sing with a good family friend of ours on like the church worship team, which basically involved this guy who was a guitar player and me, because we didn't have very many people in our church. So I got to start harmonizing and singing at church, which I absolutely loved. And then I also got to be a part of like the big team, which was my mom, who's a piano player, my dad, who's a bass player, and the same guy who played guitar also would play like a cajon for us. And so I got to start to sing every once in a while with the big team. And then after about a year of learning guitar, I was to the point where my mom thought I was ready to be on the worship team, with guitar, I mean. And so I played guitar and I'd sing with my family, so that was really awesome, and I still love those moments. Then in 7th grade, I believe it was, I started to lead worship for prayer meetings that our church would have. And these prayer meetings were really small. They were like held in the living room of my pastor's house. And so some nights they could be like 2 people really, and some nights there could be like 10 or more even sometimes. So it was really, size was oftentimes very small though, and so that was kind of a little more intimidating because I was just very new to leading worship by myself. But I learned pretty quickly, I would say, and how to make like a set list, and kind of just learning to flow with the Holy Spirit, which I think is the most important part when it comes to worship. But then my family moved to the town that we live in now, and I, for a little bit, took a break from leading worship because we weren't necessarily plugged into a certain church. but eventually I started leading worship for the youth group at the church we attend now. And it was a really fun experience for me, or still is, I'm still learning, but I have gotten the first chance to have like a full team and me be like the main worship leader. I hadn't done that very often before this time, so that has been a really cool experience, getting to learn to be a leader to other people, and I'm still definitely in the process of learning how. So firstly, I would like to say, do not despise small beginnings, because the Lord totally blesses those. If your small beginning isn't even like mine, where it's like in a room of like 3 people, I spent so much time just sitting in my room, playing and just worshiping in my room, and I think that that is so important to do that kind of a thing, because when you can get good at worshiping with the Lord just by yourself, you and the Lord, then that's gonna spill out when you're trying to bring a room into worship. And so I would definitely say, be good at worshiping just you and the Lord, and living a lifestyle of worship. You have to be able to connect with God, just you and Him. We always want to grow, but you have to trust that the Lord's gonna grow you, and through the small experiences, and that He has great things for you ahead. But oftentimes we are so focused on looking ahead that we miss the now, and we need the now in order to get to the then, if that makes sense. But when you're in a place that you're maybe not happy with, just take advantage of those opportunities to get good at your craft, and to just spend lots of time in the Word and with the Lord, and just really studying the art of worshiping, because it's such a beautiful thing. And those times are really so important, and just those types of moments are just like detrimental to being able to be a worship leader. Like, it is such an honor to have that role of being a worship leader. So be sure you're spending lots of time with the Lord. That would be the biggest number one piece of advice I could give you. Thank you all for watching, and please give this video a like and a subscribe, and even if you want to, maybe a share. I super appreciate it. Also, in the comments, let me know if there's any videos or topics that you would want me to talk about, or things like that. I would super be open to listening to any of your guys' ideas. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.